Hello, this is Amber.
Oh, hi, Amber. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So, I was just going to ask you some questions about your career for Avid. We have to do a project and ask some like a leader in our community about like a career choice we want to do. And I want
Okay.
to and I want to do something with like math and like like with numbers. And I was just wondering if I can interview you and ask you some questions.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
Um, my main job is uh, preparing and submitting tax
mhm,
returns for my clients. So annual tax filings for
mhm,
all kinds of entities. So I do individuals, corporations, businesses,
mhm,
estates, trusts, exempt organizations. So my job is to know all the tax laws that go into each uh, type of return and what filing requirements each one has.
mhm. Did you go to college?
Don't sit on those chairs. Yes. I went to American River College. So I have two associate's degrees. So I have in business and accounting.
Cool.
So I have what's called an accounting certificate,
Mhm.
meaning I could be a licensed bookkeeper should I choose to do that, but I didn't.
Okay. What made you choose this career?
I just I fell into the tax thing. So I thought I was going to be, you know, following up on the accounting and maybe becoming a CPA. I'm an enrolled agent, which is right below a CPA. So when I was finishing college, I had a friend whose company was hiring to do taxes for retirement plans. And I thought, well, I could try doing that. So I started first being a retirement plan administrator for 5 years. So I filed tax returns for big companies that their employees have 401ks and those kind of 403bs,
Oh,
defined contribution, those kind of plans. So I filed the tax returns for those and ran all these different eligibility things for the um, customers we had through that company. So I worked there for 5 years, and then in the meantime, I had a tax lady that I was seeing with my husband, and I had my first two kids during that period of time as well. So being that they were only 17 months apart, and me being a numbers person, I wasn't making any money. So I was paying all my money to the daycare lady to have my kids 50 hours a week. And my tax lady's like, well, I'll help you get started. This is how I raised my three kids. And I first didn't think that that was going to work for me, but it's worked out very well. So I started kind of growing my business seasonally so that I could be home with the kids. And it's been a really awesome career opportunity. So I went from my first year of, I think I had like 50 tax returns I filed, and then like this year 2017 I filed oh just over 2000, like 2085 tax returns. So
wow,
so
nice.
yeah, so it's kind of grown with me and my family and my kids. So I've
Mhm.
gotten busier, they've needed me less. So it just worked out that I had the government filing skills, and
Mhm.
going into the individual and business tax filing was actually an easier path for me than what I was doing for that company. So it's worked out really well.
That's good. So during college, did you change your major or like what you wanted to do a lot or like what was your beginning major that you did?
It was accounting. So I
Oh,
went right from high school. I went into the military,
oh,
and I was a military police officer for 4 years.
mhm,
And when I got out of the military, I knew I didn't want to do law enforcement, although I liked the criminal justice side of it. I liked the laws, and I was interested in that. But in high school, I had done some ROT programs for accounting for a couple of years. And
mhm,
my high school job, I worked at Round Table Pizza. And so I got out of school at noon every day, and I went to Round Table Pizza, and I did all their bookkeeping and all their inventory and all their ordering. And so I knew I really liked numbers. I liked things balancing.
mhm,
It was something I enjoyed. So when I got out of the Navy, I said, well, I went in the Navy so that I could pay for college. So I started right away saying, okay, I'm just going to take accounting classes and see if I still like it. And I did. So
mhm. Cool. What were the difficulties in college for you?
Some of the courses, if you go into the accounting field, are going to be very, very boring and unrelated to your field that you're ultimately going to work in.
Mhm.
So it sometimes is difficult to either grasp the concept or really engage your brain to be part of those courses because you're like, why do I need this? Similar to high school classes.
Mhm.
So some of the work wasn't necessarily the hard part. It was engaging and being interested in the things that you do have to have at least some knowledge of what it is, even if it's not in your field. Um, like full government accounting and that kind of stuff. Some of that is just really mundane and boring. So you do have to get through those parts, and you have to get good grades because it will filter into your other stuff. So sometimes I found that just getting through some classes were difficult because it wasn't the part that I liked.
Mhm. Um, what were the advantages of what were some advantages of your career so far?
Well, the main advantage, and I probably already answered that
Yeah.
too much in the first one, is that I've been able to squeeze my career into the majority. Well, now my career is 12 months, but as my kids were younger, I really was only busy those 3-4 months out of the year, and the rest was just very minimal. So I was always available as a mom to be classroom mom or go on field trips or stay home. I was home, so if the kids were sick, my husband didn't have to miss work.
Mhm.
um, so I had that kind of dual advantage from being, I wasn't necessarily a stay-at-home mom, but I was a work-at-home mom. So
Mhm.
everything was here, and I could tailor it around sports schedules and games, and
Yeah.
it was really nice to be able to say I'm not working Wednesdays
Mhm.
evenings because my son has baseball or whatever. So it worked out quite well.
Mhm.
That would be the biggest advantage, and low overhead. So because I work from home, I didn't have an office to pay rent or utilities. I was already paying those things from home, so we were able to convert the front part of our house to do both here.
Cool. Thank you. Do you have any advice you'd like to give me for this career along the way?
Well, what are you thinking of doing? Are you thinking of becoming like a CPA? Are you thinking of going in the tax field? What kind of numbers are you interested in?
I'm not even sure yet. What is CPA again?
That's a certified public accountant. That's somebody. So the difference between a CPA and what I do is a CPA is like if you wanted to draw up a trust or a will
Mhm.
or set up a corporation, a CPA is going to do all that paperwork for you. Where I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do any investment advice and that kind of thing. I'm just sticking to the forms. So I would say if you're not 100% sure, my advice would be to look at um, maybe a dual degree in college so that you
Mhm.
have a lot of versatility. Maybe go in as either an accounting or a business major and then have the other one as a minor, accounting or business being your minor, whichever one, different colleges differ. So some might say, well, we only have an accounting minor or we only have a accounting major with a business minor, because that gives you a lot of flexibility to work in HR, in numbers, in tax offices, in CPA firms. You could do not only the number side, but you could do the business side as well. So that
Mhm.
that would give you a lot of opportunity if you don't really know what you want to do with it to kind of find many career opportunities.
Okay. Thank you. That's it for the interview, but thank you for giving me your time to interview you, and I really appreciate it. And if I have anything in the future, I'd love to come to talk to you about it if you would let me.
Yeah, of course. If you have any questions, you know where I am.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome, Amber. Take care.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye bye.